All right, how are you guys? Nice to see you. My name is Jazz, and I'm here today to talk a little bit about a personal thing that happened to me. So I just graduated college, and coming out, I realized that I'd been lured in a little bit by the sweet song sirens of the $10 beer and wings deal during my last few years of college. And I realized I'd filled out a little bit around the edges, and for me personally, I wanted to make some health improvements. So being kind of tech-driven and biology-driven, I took to the internet, I took to tech, and I realized that there was a ton of information out there, but I mean, thanks to democratization of healthcare information and science, but none of it was aggregated, none of it was actionable for me. How do I proceed? So that's the main issue here. So what we've designed is an application called DLTA. So DLTA is an artificial intelligence. It's based on neural networks, which we'll explain in a little bit, and it would come along and you'd be able to use your regular biometric input data or tech that you already have. So your wearables and whatnot and smart scales. So in order to test this as a proof of concept, we downloaded a data set from the American Gut Project, which had full microbiome sequencing. It also included information about protein intake, gluten, and we trained it in order to predict exercise frequency and also BMI, and showed that we had pretty robust predictions in terms of the what these patients would or what the users would go to. So the main concept here is that through the network effect, basically, you are not alone in your own goals of trying to ascertain some kind of health improvement. Every person is different, and every person has different health goals based on their biology and based on their situation. So what we think would be kind of cool is if your baseline was clustered, your baseline in terms of BMI, your physical fitness, your current nutritional data, was clustered with other people who also started off in the same spot, but had gradually progressed and moved and improved in whatever that means to them. And you can see that how their data could become the future you, so long as you stick around, kind of prediction and current empowerment. So here are a few of the screenshots of the application that we have. It might be specific predictions or specific information about physical fitness or about your pace. So if you're a marathon runner, it could be that if you continue on your current clustered with other people who are also training and using this app for marathon running, how your pace could improve. Could also be specific snacks. Maybe you like to eat a little bit more at around 3 p.m. and we could predict a specific snack for you to have. And it could also, this is all based on natural language processing. So you basically have your own personal fitness. Yep, your own personal fitness, your own personal trainer, all of these on here that you can reference at any given time and say, is this a good choice for me? And so other future technologies we think this could expand out into could be gut biome sequencing and gene testing on your own to improve and increase into our data pool. Also, we think it would be cool to have our own vending machines through which other health startups could put in and have direct-to-consumer input of new health products that could go directly to the people in our apps. We would also love to partner with gyms like Planet Fitness or Equinox in order to have 3D body scanners there in which you could track your progress over time. So we're really trying to create a brand new ecosystem that integrates current biometric data leveraging artificial intelligence to put the power of performance and improvement in your own hands. Thank you.
So, great pitch.
Thank you.
First comment I'd like to mention, instead of trying to accumulate a lot of pool together a lot of great ideas into one, I'd suggest focusing on your niche and just sort of developing that as your core asset instead of trying to show you can do X and Y and Z and all of that.
Absolutely.
So just wanted to mention.
Yeah, thank you. And kind of, I think the way that we were trying to come at it is that the niche is really a little bit too large, which is that health and personal fitness means something different to everyone. And the current technology that's out there, the smart devices exist, the individual applications that can track things exist, but the niche that doesn't exist is the empowerment through seeing other people's progress and seeing how you can improve, and also giving actionable data to you to say, okay, maybe I slipped up and fell off my diet for one day, but it shouldn't be punitive. You shouldn't feel guilty. Other people also had a cheat day. And guess what? If you continue on your path, you're still going to be able to hit your goals. So the niche is a little, I completely hear what you're saying. I appreciate it totally. But we were kind of stuck in this way of like thinking big and seeing this as like some way to be an entire new kind of ecosystem of personal wellness, but also being realistic. So I really appreciate your comment. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I like it. I think that if you're talking about clusters, it leads me to assume how many other people are using your application, as opposed to me thinking, I want to look like the marathon runner that finished. That doesn't necessarily
Under 2
mean that there are
hours, yeah.
people using your app in that
Right.
cluster. So it might mean opening up what you define people that are in our cluster are.
Yeah.
Because maybe there's only 3 people in a cluster, and I don't necessarily want to be grouped in that cluster.
Sure, sure. So a few of the kind of, yeah, absolutely. And so kind of this, the introduction would be very much of a natural language processing thing where you have an open conversation with your personal fitness assistant, which is the voice that comes through. And you basically say, yeah, I think my fitness could be a little bit better, but also I think I may be not eating quite enough, and it may start to say, okay, you're maybe showing some early signs of some kind of eating disorder, and maybe we should try to increase your protein intake and increase your fat intake. So I think it's not putting you in a box so much as seeing what clusters you might fit into and trying to assimilate you in order to, or not assimilate, but in order to help you improve, see how many different groups you do fit into and how many different data pools can be pulled from. Yeah, thank you guys.